How's it going, guys? Today we're in the workshop to talk about tires. So the tires I ran on my mountain bike are I started out with Ardents up front and back. I didn't really like how the Ardents hooked up. I thought they weren't that, you give up a lot of traction in my opinion for the Ardents, and you get them, if you lean your bike into turns, which I tend to do, you can wash those things out. And so eventually I decided to ditch the Ardent in the front and go to a High Roller 2. High Roller 2 definitely added more traction, and it was a little beefier tire. I found it, you gave up a little bit in the speed, but I liked how it turned. Had a lot more traction in that tire on turns. But I rode that tire for almost a year. I eventually replaced the High Roller and the Ardent with a DHF in front and a DHR2 in back. That was a burlier setup than I probably needed for riding around here. Definitely plenty of traction in the rear, plenty of traction in the front. You can really move around, but that bike felt a little slower. And I chose to replace the DHR2 in the back with an Aggressor. Definitely a faster rolling tire, not exactly as light as an Ardent, but it had more grip. I've learned to really use that tire, and really enjoyed that tire as my rear tire. Had a couple issues where it slipped out on me on climbing, but for the most part, it's done an excellent job. So now let's just take a look at the tires. We can kind of look at the profiles. So the first tire we're looking at is the Ardent. It's a 27.5 2.25 tire. You can kind of see that these are smaller knobs. Definitely a nice directional pattern to it, but pretty small knobs here, not real large. Lightweight, fast rolling, but definitely not as grippy as some of the other tires. Next tire we're going to look at is the High Roller 2. This is the 2.4 version of the tire, and you can kind of see like these end knobs are really big, and then the middle ones are not too bad. They're bigger than the Ardents, similarly ramped, I would say, but definitely bigger knobs there. We have the DHR2, and these knobs are definitely bigger than the Ardents. Probably maybe a little bit, probably similar size middle knobs as the High Roller, but you definitely see these end knobs are a lot lower than the DH2 knobs. So you can kind of see where we've got of these three tires, the Ardents has got the lowest profile. The High Roller has a lower middle profile, but a higher side knobs. And then lastly, the DHR2 has a little, probably closer to middle knobs as the High Roller 2, but definitely smaller side knobs. Okay, so on the front tire I have the DHF. These side knobs are definitely smaller than, say, a High Roller 2 side knobs. High Roller next to the DHF. You can kind of see these knobs are definitely bigger than the DHR, but they're not as big as the High Roller, and these might be a little bit higher than the High Roller as well. So this DHF, you see a little higher knobs on the sides in the middle than the DHR, but side knobs aren't as large as on the High Roller 2. And this will just give you more traction, slower rolling, more rolling resistance, so a little slower tire, but you're definitely getting a lot more traction than you would be on the High Roller 2 or the DHR 2. So on the rear tire we have the Aggressor. On the Aggressor, the knobs are, you know, a different pattern here compared to the other tires we've had so far. The knobs are, the side knobs are actually fairly pronounced. The middle knobs are a little bit lower. If I compare this rear tire to the Ardent, yeah, the middle knobs look they look pretty similar. You might have a little bit similar, not different tread pattern, but height-wise they're pretty close. There's definitely a little bit more of a pattern going on. A little higher end side knobs compared to the Ardent, but they're still the middle knobs are still low profile, so you get a little bit more. You definitely have a faster rolling tire with the Ardent, but you're going to have more grip with the Aggressor with these little bigger side knobs. But it comes down to preference. Two of the more popular options for a rear tire if you're looking for faster rolling. So, in closing, when you're picking your tire, you really want to figure out what are you looking for. Are you looking for a really fast rolling tire, or are you looking for a tire that has a lot of traction? Or do you want to find that in between middle? What I've found is that I really like having the Aggressor as a rear tire. It gives me just enough traction in the back, and I feel its rolling resistance is low enough that I can actually ride pretty quick. But I have a DHF in the front, which is probably a little bit more overkill than I need right now, but it's a really grippy tire. It really corners well. It provides a lot of traction. I'm leaning on the fence of if I would keep that as my front tire and maybe go to something less, maybe a little less rolling resistance with a DHR. Try that in the front. But that's the great thing about having different tires. You can kind of play around and test them out. I tend to go with Maxxis tires because they are solid tires. I don't have any. I've never had any issues with Maxxis tires. Go out, ride your bike, try some different tires, see what you think. Let me know what your favorite tires are in the comments below. But most of all, go out and ride your bike, have some fun. Talk to you guys later. Bye.